Hi, everybody. Please join me in welcoming Lilach, Adcore's head of growth, one of the leaders of the company. And welcome, Lilach. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me, Julian. I'm Lilach Shalzar. I have my master's in marketing and business with a lot of experience in everything regarding the world of digital marketing in the last over 9 years. In the last 7 years, I'm here in Adcore. And what am I doing is basically working closely with clients, with advertisers, to build strategies of all their digital activity in a full funnel approach. And doing that by using Adcore's full service, full products, full offers, and leveraging that to the client's actually digital activity.
Okay, cool. So one of the topics I wanted to talk to you about today was Netflix advertising, which has been around for almost 2 years now. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you, what have we learned from Netflix advertising in that time?
So quite a lot, actually. Netflix entered it 2 years ago since they launched their ad-supporter plan, and they grew immediately. A lot of actually users migrate from the premium plan to the ad-supporter plan because it was more worthwhile for them. We see that they have the highest revenue per ad-supporter view, which is crazy, from the other already established publishers, actually. And during that time, they managed to start with all the most of the ad formats. They entered several significant geos. Well, of course, the US is the most significant. They started working on all their measurement capabilities, targeting capabilities. So they're really advanced in the last 2 years, and there's probably much more to come.
Nice. How does Netflix compare to other connected TV platforms in driving the initial stages of the customer journey?
So Netflix, in the end of the day, you need to think of the user state of mind, right? It's a user that is watching TV, and in that way, you have actually the opportunity to reach to them, like in regular, let's say, the linear TV ads that we all know. But the difference that Netflix offer a really premium content, and the audience there are much more engaged. So the opportunity for advertisers to be in this type of premium platform actually can change the perception of the users about that advertiser. All of a sudden, they will perceive it as more premium, and the users will think about it differently while they're down the funnel, when they will need to make an action or to make a purchase or whatever it will be, then it's something that will affect positively on the users.
Okay. And are there other platforms that offer a similar service and a similar impact?
100%. There's a lot of other publishers, basically, all the established publishers that we already know, if it's Disney Plus, Hulu, Roku, Paramount, Universal. So there's a lot of YouTube also. There's a lot of publishers that enabling CTV ads. The difference usually between them, it's depending. It can be depending on if they're available specific geos, targeting capabilities, measurement capabilities. I think the advantage for Netflix is that because it's considered such a premium platform, a premium network, then it gives the advertisers a potential, right? Potential to reach those audience, those premium audience that will, in the end of the day, will translate to a buyer customer.
Right, okay. So you've mentioned the premium content on Netflix. So how can you go into more detail about how Netflix advertising is different from, YouTube ads that we see in a YouTube video?
100%. YouTube apps also have that CTV capability, right? In the end of the day, it's the streaming app that you can open and you can broadcast it to your smart TV. The difference, there's a lot of differences actually. YouTube, let's start with accessibility. It's the most, I think, limiting for advertisers. That in YouTube you just have to have a Google ad that you can open for free. the platform, how to do that. It's much more easy, intuitive. And usually through Netflix, you do it through DSPs. You need to work and, you need to reach out to that representative in order to create a deal and to advertise it. Moreover, the pricing is completely different. The CPM, the cost per 1,000 impression is different. So a lot of time you can reach much more views and reach through YouTube. But right in the same budget, you can reach much more than in Netflix, but the audience will be different in quality, which that is the most significant. And that's what drive in the end of the day advertiser to choose platforms that are premium like Netflix.
Okay, understood. So for advertisers that, let's say, have experience with YouTube that want to get into Netflix, what kind of content are you creating for Netflix ads versus other types of video content?
Mm-hmm. So again, imagine the user, right? So in YouTube, a lot of time, the state of mind of the user, it's not the state of mind while they're actively watching TV, okay? In YouTube, you have a lot of content that you're just like, you hear it in a passive way, on the go, and you're not really engaged. While in Netflix, it's completely the opposite. You're very much engaged. You can do binging all day, right? And we all do that. So the user is much more engaged, and that gives you the opportunity to reach out to them in a very unique way. So when you do create your content, your creative, you need to take that in mind. And when building the messaging, in what way do you want them to perceive you, in a fun way, in an engaging way, in a more surprising way, to have a dramatic effect, or to think of the audience, of your audience, what will catch them in that moment. So all of that you need to build before you're building the concept of your content.
Okay, got it. And how effective is Netflix advertising for top of funnel activities such as brand awareness and consideration?
It is very effective. Again, in the end of the day, you want that because the audience is much more engaged, then they will think about you. Not if in that moment they will make an action. It might not be the point, right? They're not going to be the objective of the campaign. The objective of the campaign might be, but for them to hear about you, to understand what you offer, and to have a positive effect in their mind, once they'll reach to a place where they would like to make a decision, to make an action, then they will think of you. And that is very important to think about.
Got it. And what insights do we have about viewer engagement on Netflix? Are there specific formats or strategies that lead to higher engagement?
So let's say if we're talking about taking insights, if we're thinking about like matrix, Netflix does provide somewhat of measurements metrics like impressions, clicks, views, completed views, the cost per completed view, a view rate, which is how many people view that ad from all the impressions from everyone that saw that ad. And so there are some metrics that you can take from, and you can measure that and optimize it, and then work on the strategy to, okay, if that was not engaged enough, if the view rate, people did not view it enough, so you can build that strategy and you can optimize that, right, in your strategy when you building your messaging, your creative, and all of that, and actually A/B test that to see which one leads to higher performance.
Okay, that's a great idea. And so when we're trying to run those campaigns, what's a good metric to track, to evaluate how effective your campaigns are?
So a good metrics that I like to see is basically the brand searches, to see if there's a lift in brand searches and website traffic, right? In the end of the day, you want people also to come to your website, and then you can even have the code and track them after and do the remarketing and basically leverage that audience that will be your audience for other marketing purposes. So I think that is a good a way to measure it, to see if once in the time that you advertise your ad, you can also see a lift in brand searches, organic traffic, and overall of your website, I think that would be a great metric to evaluate.
Okay, and when measuring these metrics, what time period would you recommend for an advertiser?
So it depends on the time frame of your campaign, right? Usually campaign like that, you don't do for, and it's not so much of an ongoing, it's usually more of like a 5 to 10 days campaign that you're having. And it's a lot of advertisers that, let's say, do an ongoing campaign. So it's probably like different messaging, but it really depends, I think. So the time frame, it depends on the business objective.
Right. Got it. And then I wanted to ask you, Netflix has several ad formats. Can you explain what they are and what are the differences between them?
Yes. So Netflix, they are having So Netflix have the two main ad formats, which is the pre-roll and mid-roll. The pre-roll is basically the video ad that appears at the beginning of the content of the video that you're watching, that the user will watch. While a mid-roll is a video that will show in the middle of the content while there be a content break or a pause. Then once you, let's say, unpause it, then you will see the ad. Now Netflix started to have the option to add 15 seconds, 30 seconds, even 60 seconds of a video ad, which advertisers can really leverage for a really good storytelling video.
Got it. And how good is Netflix's ability to target certain audiences compared to, say, Google Ads?
So in targeting wise, it's very different because, for example, as I mentioned in Google, it's much more accessible. You have much more control of the users and all the information that obviously Google has. So you have Google audiences, you can use first-party audiences, you can upload a customer list and use all of that, searches online in order to use that in your targeting. Depends on, of course, your campaign objective and network that you're doing. While in Netflix, they have mainly capabilities of demographic, of age, gender, geographic. By, let's say, I want to zoom in on a specific state or area or zip code, they can also have by genre, which is that very nice to have. And then you can also think about it, actually, that you can adjust your creative based on the genre that you're targeting, right? Because maybe if you want to do drama and make it much more organic and fit in the content, can be more of a dramatic advertisement. Or if it's a comedy, then it can be much more fun and light and much more, a funny video type of style. So that's the main capabilities. But I assume that like in the future, they'll probably develop more capabilities in their targeting.
Okay. And so for a brand that is getting into Netflix advertising now, what is the best way to leverage it and be successful with their campaigns?
So there isn't just one thing. It's a mix that you need to take into consideration once you build that strategy, which is a mix of the target audience and the creative. And to do that in the right way, as I mentioned, to catch your user attention. If you do that the right way, and of course you need to optimize and all of that based on the results. But I think that they can leverage it because the audience there is very premium and the content is premium. So once you have that also premium ad that you need to create for the right person, it can really help you leverage and make your business grow.
Got it. Okay. So how can brands integrate their Netflix advertising with other digital marketing channels?
So in the end of the day, Netflix advertising campaign that you're going to do, it can stand on its own, right? Because the user doesn't spend time just on Netflix and binging all day. They spend time in other devices. Today, it's a cross-device world. They also spend time on social media, on search engine. They read content in different places. So you need to be able to adjust that strategy and customize it per the platform that the user spend. So that is a good idea to think about it, right? When you're building the strategy and make that adjustment in other places, while taking into consideration that now basically you're increasing the demand for your product or for your service, right? So a very important thing is not to forget also that side of the demand harvesting, that you need to make sure that you're organic in the right place, that you're taking the traffic, that it doesn't go to competitors. You need to make sure that your on-brand campaign on Google Ads is not limited, so you can, reach all the audiences that are looking for you. And of course, also adjust it in the website, right? To also adjust the website by appearances to make sure that everything is aligned based on the strategy of the campaign.
Got it. Okay. And, looking forward into the future, what can we expect from connected TV?
So I think that quite a lot. In the end of the day, linear TV is kind of disappearing. Like, you're gonna have that linear TV users or an audience that are watching, but more and more people are transferring to the CTV world. And not only that, but users are having they're multi-subscribed to multi-places, right? So let's say I can have my Netflix subscription, and I have my Disney Plus, and I can have Hulu or Amazon, and there's a lot, right? So the audiences, it's like one person, but it's in many places. You need also to think of that. So there's a lot of potential there for advertisers. And they're just starting to scrape specifically Netflix. They have much more to come if it's new ad formats that they want to issue this year, which is the QR code, to add it to the creative, so it will be much more engagers and potential for e-commerce businesses, right, to scan it and reach to their website. If it's to enter to more geos that are not entered at the moment, if it's measurement capability, which is super important to understand what the campaign that is a bit more top of the funnel, upper funnel, brings also directly to your ROI, not just to your branding. A lot of advertisers, it's important, of course, to in the end of the day, to show the profit from your advertising. So there's much more to come, I'm sure, and there's a lot of potential there for advertisers.
Great. And so how does Adcore help brands reach their potential with connected TV marketing?
So Adcore, in the end of the day, when we work with an advertiser, we give the A to Z for service. And the main thing that, first of all, we ask the question, and we form the right strategy for them. If it's by understanding what platform to choose, which publisher, what will be the target audience, what kind of messaging we want to have, position the brand in the right place for them based on their marketing strategy. And of course, the video. We have a very amazing, capable studio team that works and together with the advertiser and really build and produce amazing videos that looks like a Hollywood production, but without the cost of a Hollywood production. So I think that is very amazing to see. So this is, I think that we had many success in that. And yeah.
Great, wonderful.
Yeah.
So those are all my questions, Lilach. So Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Sure. Happy to be here.
Great. And I recommend, if anyone wants to learn more about Netflix advertising, we have a guide on our website. Please click on the link below and download the guide for free for yourself. Thank you. Goodbye.